Hello and welcome everybody to another R&D Plays MTG stream. I am Paul Chion, joined here by Melissa DeTora.
Hello.
And we're going to be playing some more Magic while trying to answer all of your questions. At least the ones that we're allowed to. So no War previews
Yep.
and no Modern Horizons previews until we're given them at some point to maybe share with you all on stream. So today I'm going to be the one who's mostly going to be the host. Melissa's going to be playing on her account, and she's been trying her best to put as many wacky decks on her account as possible. So
yeah, let's take a look at the decks.
Swap on over here, and we got a few decks here. We have black-white mid-range, which is this like an angel deck or what's going on here?
It's a stuff deck is probably what I
Ooh,
call
black-white cards I own.
We
That's
got black-white
classic.
stuff.
Alright.
Let's take a closer look at it. How do I describe it? It has a lot of discard spells. We have Duress and this Bell Haunt.
Yeah.
It has a lot of 2-for-1s. History, Midnight Reaper. As you can see, there are a lot of one-ofs.
You know what card I
that
really
might
like?
be a little weird.
Do you have the Angel? Resplendent Angel? I think
Yes.
that card has been really impressive to me. I wonder if that's a consideration.
It is, but like
Yeah.
History is also.
Yeah, is it
Really
better
good.
than Kaya maybe?
Oh, Kaya's been so good.
Oh yeah, okay.
It really has been good. Like Kaya is just.
That is an old image of Duress. The way you get this Duress, I believe, is you had to play Singleton. It was like a Singleton promo thing, and every time you played, you got a Duress. So you just keep joining the queues until you get your place at Duresses. And you would get a Galta if you go 5-0.
Right, if you went 5-0.
So
Yep.
I kept playing, because I actually enjoyed the Singleton format. I kept playing until I got the playset of all of them.
Oh, nice.
So we got that. But I think this is kind of like an attempt at making some kind of a mid-range deck for a best-of-one format. It's got the Duresses main instead of like in the sideboard. Many of the decks, even the aggressive decks, Duress just has plenty of targets, right?
Oh, yeah, like even against something like Mono Red or Mono White, there's something. There's History,
Yeah.
Conclave Tribunal, there's tons of cards.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Mono
the
Red.
mono red deck has a ton of burn spells, and even the white, like you said, the white deck also has Legion's Landing, History Banale, Conclave Tribunal, just a good amount of. Obviously you're still gonna miss, but like there's less misses than you would expect when you play against a linear aggressive strategy. Even the mono blue tempo deck has a ton of counter magic that you can use Duress to snatch. So it seems like a totally reasonable option to main deck. I know when I was playing black green in season 1 that we had, I had 2 main deck Duresses for the control matchups.
Yeah, I was also playing Duress main deck, and I think it's just really good main deck right now. Like, every deck that I'm thinking of just has tons of targets for it.
Sure. All right, and we got some spicy one-ofs here at the top of the
Look at all the
curve.
spice.
You got Ethereal Absolution. The way we look at it, look, if it's unbeatable and limited, it's got to be at least playable and constructed, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
And the Immortal Sun, because this deck doesn't play any Planeswalkers, so, that could be like your one-of answer to those Teferi control decks, right? If you manage to resolve the Immortal Sun, I don't think they can win. Like, how do they actually remove the Immortal Sun? Because, the Esper decks play Mortify, but I don't think they actually have a way to get the Immortal Sun off the board if you can resolve it, with, like, through Duress or something like that.
Yeah, lists have moved away from Ixalan's Binding.
Yep. Yeah, Excellence Binding is more of a sideboard
Listen,
card.
we're not going to have Kaya in play the same time as the Immortal Sun.
Oh, I
okay?
didn't see that.
Okay?
I didn't see
That's
that.
why they're one-ofs. We're only going to have one at a time.
I have nothing for
Plus,
this.
Kaya just dies, so if you draw Kaya, they're probably just going to attack it to death, and then you'll just draw Immortal Sun later. It all
Yeah.
works out great.
Anyways, this isn't... We haven't finalized. We're figuring things out.
We're trying
with
out
this
a bunch
deck.
of stuff.
We're
All right.
trying out stuff.
All right,
Anyways,
moving
that's
on.
one of the decks.
Next deck, we got the Team of Reclamation deck.
Yeah, but this is a Team of Reclamation deck with a few more permanents. So it's got Growth Chamber Guardian just as, I guess, a value creature, right? And then Frilled Mystic, which is the card that I want to see played, actually. You get to play Wilderness Reclamation, untap your lands, and then still keep up Frilled Mystic, which is pretty nice. But, yeah. I hope your experience with floating your mana at end of turn for Wilderness Reclamation.
I've never done it before.
Okay.
So
I have
see.
lost several games climbing the ladder by forgetting to put a stop at my end step. But yeah, those are a couple decks. We also have Slow Gruul. And then we also
Named
have...
by me, Slow Gruul. I mean,
Yep.
I could have named it Gruul Midrange, but Slow Gruul was just funny.
Yeah, so this is Yeah, it's just a Gruul mid-range deck, but
this is just a deck I found online. A player just made Mythic with it. I found it on Twitter.
Yep. It looks like it doesn't really have it's just good creatures. It's all the best creatures in Gruul. And then, of course, since you're green, you get the Wild Growth Walker, Branch Walker, J-Light Ranger package as well. How many treasure maps are in there?
Just one.
Okay.
Yep. It looks like really strong against creature decks and not great against control, but that's why there's Banefire.
That's why there's Banefire.
You can just randomly get them.
This is the classic, I hope I draw the right cards for the right matchups type deck. Where, most of the creatures are fine in most matchups, and then, of course, you have something like the Banefire. Well, the Banefire, it's actually not unreasonable because all the Esper control decks, they often don't play win conditions, right? They usually just play, like, a Kaya or, like, Teferi.
Right.
So you might just get into a situation where you just top deck Banefire for 10, and that's enough to I bet that's the primary win condition against control. Like,
oh, definitely.
Yeah, you can't really expect your creatures to get that.
Yeah,
most
like
of
you
the
can
time.
maybe deal them 10 or something.
Right.
But you need this Banefire to just deal the other 10.
Yeah. All right, so those are the decks that we have. Is there anything that you want to specifically start out with?
We also have the same decks as last week. If you guys were here
Yeah,
last week, we played
have
some tokens. We played some Gruul, I think, the week before that.
Yep.
A little bit of the Gates deck.
What's Bant Flash? I'm just curious.
It's old. I built this when the format first came out, and it was super fun.
Okay. I mean, we have the teamer deck is very similar to this.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Probably just a little weaker, a little weird too, because you have these like cards you want to play on your turn, and then you have like this instant package, and you have the fairy. It's just kind of weird. A lot of situational cards too, like War.
Kaya's really good to get out of Banefire range. That is true for sure. But not all decks play Kaya main. Oftentimes Kaya is a one of in the main. Sometimes it's in the sideboard in best of 3. So.
Let's start with the Kaya deck.
All right. Let's get to some questions. Again, this is the play design stream, basically the R&D stream. So if you have lots of questions with regards to, we've had a good amount of time to kind of digest and, explore RNA for both limited and constructed. So if you have a lot of questions with regards to, some of the design process that went through some of the iteration of some of the cards, please let us know. Meanwhile, playing against Mono Blue.
So one thing about this deck is it's not very good against Mono Blue, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, our opponent has the draw.
Yeah, specifically,
they have the draw.
It's not good against turn 1 Guy, turn 2 Curious Obsession. Like, I just don't think we can win.
Well, we can go Tithe Taker, which then helps us play around counter magic for the Mortify that we cast on our turn, main phase.
We can try.
All right. And let's see. All right, let's read some questions here. What's your favorite card design that made it into the final set for RNA? So what is your favorite card in RNA?
It's hard to pick one, but I really like the Gruul cards. So it's Ravager Worm, Domri are the two that come to mind.
Yep.
And then like also stuff like Incubation Druid, Rhythm of the Wild is a sweet one. All right. Well, so our opponent definitely has a counter, right?
Yes.
I could just attack and see if he has the
Trickster?
the Merfolk Trickster.
They're probably not going to play it, but yeah. You can try to bait it.
We can try.
Yeah. I do agree that you probably want to get that off the board. You might be better off using the Mortify on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sad about it.
Like, try to use the Mortify on your opponent's turn and then use Ixalan's Binding on your turn. To try to get it off the board,
Yeah, we can try.
That's probably best.
Alright, yeah, I guess we'll just do this on his turn.
If our opponent plays a Trickster end of turn, then you can kill the Siren Storm Tamer, which is nice.
Yes! Oh!
Yes!
I did not expect that.
Yes!
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Play tight, get rewarded. That's just the story of play design.
We have more Tricksters.
It's okay, we can at least chump that one.
Yep, you're right. So maybe on my turn I play a history and try and double block.
Yeah. Unlikely to resolve, but
definitely. But yeah, we can just play it and then maybe next turn we'll just have this get countered.
Yeah, this is likely getting countered and then we just keep this back to block.
Yep.
Please tell us a bit of teaser for Word Spark. Cannot.
Yeah, we can't answer any questions.
That is literally the one thing that we cannot do. or actually there's a lot of things we can't do, but that specifically is one of the most important things that we can't do, is give away, of course, all the cards that are going to be coming out in the following set. But be patient, and you will have access to the cards in due time. You know, we want to give a lot of our influencers the opportunity to kind of show some of the really cool cards that we have to offer. Do you want to...
Another history here, do you think?
Yeah, or you can go Contempt on your opponent's turn and then play Excellence Binding on our turn.
Yeah,
because we can still block
either way
with
we
this.
are blocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
because our opponent has 4 mana up. They have to have stuff.
They have to, yeah.
That's a lie. You could tell us Yes, I guess nobody technically can control what I can and cannot do, so I could tell you and then be jobless. But I really like my job, so I'd rather just have you all wait and have us tell you the cards later. I don't know when the preview season starts. A good person to probably ask would be, let's see, who's our like social media, whatever the Magic social media account is, probably knows.
It's Blake.
I know Blake knows, but I know like we're trying to like make people go a certain direction or go certain places.
I want to play this so bad.
Well,
whatever I play is just getting countered, I think.
Yeah.
They haven't even used
probably.
the Wizard's Retort yet.
Probably, yeah.
But I have no instance, so I have to play something,
Yep.
so I'll just play this. Hopefully they have, like, Dive Down, Spell Pierce. Okay.
Ooh.
Or they have the Essence Capture.
Oof, I'm gonna say. Can we switch jobs for a little? No, it's, the job is not that flexible.
More Curious Obsessions!
Oh yeah, we are super dead. How strong are combo decks allowed to be in Standard, and where is Nexus on that scale? Well, you know, we do like for there to be some combo decks. I think a combo deck that I want to say would kind of hit the sweet spot in terms of like it being playable, being a fun deck, but not completely dominating Standard. You know, the New Perspectives deck. I thought that was a cool deck that people played.
Oh,
you remember
wow.
that one with all the cycling?
Yeah,
that was a really
yeah.
cool deck. That was a really cool deck, and if you had no way to interact with it, it kind of got to do its thing. But then, of course, you have like the more powerful end of that spectrum, which is something like the Rally the Ancestors deck, where like you just get to play a deck with all good creatures, and then you know that was a deck that ended up being one of the best decks in Standard. So there's kind of like this sliding scale. I think as far as if you want to just talk about like win rates and how good a deck is, at least in best of 3, I think the Nexus of Fate deck is at a pretty reasonable power level. I mean, there was one deck in the top 8 of the Mythic Championship in Cleveland, and you know, I think every time we saw it on camera at the Mythic Championship, it didn't win, and it's not like it's completely crushing the Standard results as well. You know, if you want to talk about maybe play pattern or play experience, that's like a different question. But in terms of just where it landed in terms of power level, I think you know, it's at a pretty good spot. Oh, Esper Control's probably rough, right?
Especially like this Dovin's Acuity version, because they just gain a ton of life.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Well, I'm not playing a land. I'm just playing this guy.
Yeah, and
who
this
happens
is
to be a knight.
Right. So this is, by the way, this is exactly why I feel like it's really hard to get these mid-range strategies to work, because even if you skew your deck a certain way, you're still, I feel, going to be weak to control, because no matter what, you have removal spells in your deck.
Yeah, it's...
Unless your
tough,
removal
like,
spells
just
are
having
all
this
not cast
in
down.
my hand.
Right.
Like, yeah, like that's why Binding and Mortify are great cards for
Right.
a deck like this.
So it might just be possible that you just aren't supposed to play cheap removal spells in best of 3. You know what I mean? I don't actually know what's correct. We're still exploring what this type of world looks like.
Oh, yeah, actually,
Bellhunt is nice.
speaking of the cast down, it's a one of,
Oh, okay.
and I overall haven't been super happy with it. Like,
Yeah.
it could just be another duress or
You might
something.
you might just want proactive threats and the cards like duress for the cheap stuff, and then for late game, then you can play the more unconditional removal.
This deck and this life.
Yeah, I mean, we don't care too much about, like, life gain is annoying, but like it's not like we're just trying to like completely rush our opponents down or anything. Do they have a card in their graveyard that's like good to consecrate?
Not really.
Oh, chemisters.
Chemisters.
I would totally eat the chemisters.
Yeah, that sounds great.
See, this is a nice one, right? Kind of when we this is one card that I do want to talk about. Like when you look at these, when you look at this cycle of like split cards. Okay, part of the intention was to make them flexible so that they would be. You can apply these cards to multiple different matchups. Like look at a card like Consecrate Consume, which is a pretty solid removal spell. Consume specifically was the type of card that's nice to have a few copies of, especially if a giant hexproof creature becomes one of the more problematic creatures in the format. For example, if Carnage Tyrant was just a 4 of everywhere, you would have this as an answer. But if you play against a control deck where removal is not all that desirable, you can still use Consecrate to have it have some value, right? Because when you play against a control deck, it's still going to be a 2-mana cycle, basically cycle or draw card.
It's a removal spell that's not dead.
How do you think the London Mulligan will affect Standard if it sticks around after London? Well, I can tell you that play design, we've been play testing with the Mulligan Rule a lot, London Mulligan Rule a lot in our Standard play testing, and it's been great. I've really enjoyed it, and I think it just makes for a more fun Standard. Now, we're going to kind of look at the results and analyze the data that we get for the Mythic Championship in London because it's modern, and based off of that, we'll like continue to analyze and figure out if it's really the thing that we ultimately want. But as far as Standard testing goes, it's been great.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's been super fun in Standard and Limited.
Yeah.
It just makes for less non-games.
Yep.
And it just makes you feel less bad when you mulligan to below 6.
Right. You just get kind of just smoother starts. You get to just play real games of Magic on both sides. So for those of you who do not know or understand how the Mulligan Rule works, because we just got a question from Tony, the way the Mulligan Rule works that's going to be used in Mythic Championship London is you have your opening 7, you don't like it, you take a mulligan, you draw another 7 cards, and then if you choose to keep, if you like your next 7 card hand, you take one of those cards and put it on the bottom of your library. So it is a little more powerful than the Scry Mulligan because you look at more cards. Now, and every time you take an additional mulligan, that's the number of cards that you need to put on the bottom of your library. So let's say you take one mulligan and you look at your 7. You don't like that hand either. Then you mulligan again. But again, you draw up to 7, and then you put 2 cards from your hand onto the bottom of your library. We think that it's pretty unlikely, or it's certainly far less likely, that you're going to end up mulliganing to 4 with this new mulligan. Because, when you're looking at 7, when you're looking at 21 or 3 7-card hands, it's very likely that one of those is going to have, 2 lands and spells. Do you shuffle between each 7, or do you just go to the mulligan? It's just like any other mulligan. You shuffle and draw a new hand.
We're not doing so good here.
If you did your math correctly, if you need a 2-card combo in opening hand, you have roughly 45% chance to draw it within 3 mulligans. That's pretty ridiculous. But what if you... there's a lot of interactive cards that people can play. If you play against a deck with counter magic, if you play against a deck with hand disruption, so if you're willing to really commit to mulliganing down to 4 to get your 2-card combo, you don't even necessarily know that you're going to have the lands to play those spells either. I really do think it's a little bit overblown in terms of like how people are going to be mulliganing to find their 2-card combos, because like if you mulligan, your win rate should still go down. You are still down a card. We're just trying to make it so that the gap between win rates is a little bit smaller, because currently it is pretty large. You go to 6, you go to 5, your win rates go down significantly.
Our opponent plays more to 5, but I feel like I just need to get this off the board here. Then we can duress next turn.
Did you take into consideration Modern? Will it be healthy? Please take into account decks like Tron, Dredge, etc.
Well, we are testing the mulligan at the Modern Pro Tour, so we are stress testing it.
Yeah, we will test it. We certainly consider Modern, and ultimately we decided, hey, we think like our number one thing is to make sure that we provide the best experience for, I'm going to say, Standard and limited. You know, all the kind of the front list products that we make. So we want to make sure people have the best play experience for the sets that we make. So if it completely crushes in standard and limited, we're gonna, you know, focus on that and then like kind of work our other sets around this. Now, we ultimately, you know, in standard and limited, I think it's great. I think it's awesome. And then for modern, we decided, hey, look, let's see what happens. We think it's going to be fine. We have a lot of people on our team, you know, Tom Ross. We have a lot of people here, you know, Michael Major. We have a lot of people who are like kind of modern masters or have had a lot of opportunity to kind of think about this a little bit. So, you know, we kind of talked as a group and decided, hey, we're going to try this for the Mythic Championships. If it truly ends up being format warping, then we'll revisit whether or not we should have this for modern. But we're going to see, because, you know, we're going to, for London, not only are we going to be looking to just kind of see the results of all the different decks, but, you know, we also want to, you know, be recording the information that we get and making sure that, you know, like looking at the win rates if somebody mulligans, stuff like that. We're kind of looking into what the best procedure for that would be.
This is so tough.
And keep in mind, by the way, people talk about how combo decks get stronger because of this new mulligan. What about decks that have really strong answers to said combos? So again, I don't actually know the answer, but I'm just saying, let's say you're sideboarding and you have a bunch of rest in pieces for a graveyard deck, you're more likely to find those cards as well. So despite these, you know, degenerative combo decks kind of being maybe one of the better game one decks, they're at a bigger disadvantage, I would say, after sideboard when people get to mulligan to their hate cards. It might be self-balancing. Again, I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I'm just saying, I think we should still just like take some time to actually see how this overall impacts modern. Thank you, Dolente Inferno. You think I got that right? Or is it Dolent? Dolent. Thank you, Mr. Thank you. It's not even. Thank you, Inferno 1987.
Dolente Inferno.
Dolente Inferno for the subscription. Appreciate it.
Our opponent took our Shalai. That's okay. I have plenty of other great 4-drops in my hand.
If there's success in the London Mulligan, will EDH be able to use that rule officially? I don't know. I don't know who's actually in charge of all the EDH rules. Is this Scott Larrabee? I don't know. I know he's involved.
Well, he's on the rules committee.
He is on the rules committee, so I think they will decide whether or not.
But like the official Mulligan rule is just like for us to make. So if we decide to go with this, then it'll just be everywhere. Right. And like even the Paris Mulligan or the Vancouver Mulligan, I guess Vancouver what we're calling it. Yeah, it got used in EDH immediately. The other EDH rule the other Mulligan that we had, the partial Paris, I think it was what it was called. That is not so much used anymore. Like house rules and stuff, like playgroups use it, but it's not like official.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you're playing against so much Esper control, even in like gold or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought you'd see a more variety of decks, but it looks like everybody's really trying to, play peak strategies here.
This Dovin's Acuity deck that we saw last round has gotten really popular recently, and maybe this is it with the revitalizes. This might be the Dovin's Acuity deck. I'm not totally sure.
Is Mark Rosewater involved in War of the Spark? And somebody responds, he is the Spark.
Mark Rosewater is the lead vision designer for every set.
Yeah, so, when it comes to exploring the worlds and figuring out just kind of generally what the feeling for those worlds should be, I think Mark Rosewater is definitely deeply involved with all of that stuff. What is your favorite standard deck of all time? For me, I think I like mono blue. The deck was called Mono Blue Pickles.
I remember that deck.
It was a mono blue tempo-y control deck with a bunch of morphs, and you would win the game by Pickles locking your opponent out. And the Pickles lock was the combination of Brine Elemental and Vesuvian Shapeshifter. And both of those are morphs. Brine Elemental is a card that says, when you unmorph Brine Elemental, your opponent does not get to untap. They skip their untap step. And Vesuvian Shapeshifter is, when you unmorph Vesuvian Shapeshifter, you can copy a creature that's on the battlefield, including any unmorph abilities that it may have. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you can turn it face down. So once you get Brine Elemental plus Vesuvian Shapeshifter, you just keep flipping Vesuvian Shapeshifter over and over again, and your opponent would not be able to untap. It also played Cryptic Command, Ancestral Vision, a lot of my favorite cards. So, yeah. We made blue cards pretty powerful back then.
Yep.
I just want to say.
It was called Pickles because the main card was called Brine Elemental.
See, so I thought it was called Pickles because it would make your opponent very salty every time you beat them. No, I don't think salty
that
was
definitely true.
I don't think salty was like a big term back in the day. So
it wasn't actually.
Yeah.
That got more popular with like the rise of like video games and esports and stuff.
Right.
All right, great news. We have whittled down our opponent's hand to nothing, and we have creatures in play in the history of Benalia, and a memorial.
Do we have a creature in our yard?
We do. We have the Bellhaunts.
Right.
The Bellhaunts.
Look at
this game
that
for
spicy
us.
memorial we added at the end.
Yeah, that was nice.
Uh-oh.
But
Ooh, I want Ixalan's Binding this so bad.
we're going to. That's the plan.
Unless they draw an instant.
Oh man, imagine if they drew an instant.
Yeah.
Chemister's Insight. No.
Oh no.
Okay. We can't really do much about that.
Oh, just you know what? Just naturally draw a
have,
Bellhunt.
Contempted our thing to deny our.
Yeah, but I'd rather have that for.
That does not seem good.
Yeah.
So the Acuity deck does not play any.
A big creature.
Yeah, I think we're just playing this.
Oh yeah.
The Acuity deck doesn't play any like win conditions really of any kind in their main deck. They rely on Mastermind's Inquisition to just get whatever they need out of the sideboard.
Do you think decks without enchantment removal are at a severe disadvantage in the current standard meta? I don't know. I mean, it depends on your strategy, right? For example, like, I think the mono red deck is still very viable because it's a very strong linear aggressive strategy, right? And if you play the mono blue deck, you have access to counter magic. So I feel like every color, or many of the colors, have the opportunity to deal with enchantments, except for the colors that it's kind of outside of their color pie, right? So like black and red, for example, is just not going to have enchantment removal. But all the other colors, you know, you have Reclamation Sage, you have Conclave Tribunal, and you have counter magic. So all the other colors have main deckable ways to deal with enchantments. And we do make sure that those kinds of effects exist, right? We will often go through our standard sets and be like, okay, do we have a good disenchant effect? Do we have, you know, what is white's disenchant effect? What's green's disenchant effect? Stuff like that. Do we have a good bounce spell in the format? What's our counter magic suite? You know, what are our 2-mana counters? What are our 3-mana counters? Those are a lot of the types of things that we look at just to make sure that we have a good, fun, balanced environment. Do we have too many, you know, lightning strikes or whatever? Like, there could be a world where all of a sudden it's like, oh, we have 7 different lightning strikes. That's bad, you know? Or do we have too many, you know, one mana creatures with 2 power? That's also a thing. So just those are always things that play design tries to be on top of, just to create a balanced environment. You are not very good at killing your opponent's creatures.
I'm not very good at it. We exile a lot of their opponent's creatures.
Okay, so wrong deck for this.
All right, I think it's time to move on.
Yeah, did you win?
We won that one.
Okay,
So
I want some teamer.
All right, I got to learn how to set my end step stop.
I also need to know how this deck plays out a little more because I'm going to be doing.
Oh yeah, this is actually very informative for you.
What's my favorite set in MTG? We get that asked a lot. I think we should just make sure on the wall we have a default one because like I feel like we always just come up with something on the spot. Historical archetypes like Suicide Black no longer seem to exist. Are there any plans to resurrect older tech macro archetypes? I mean, it always just depends, right? Like, you know, there are some cards that exist for aggressive black strategies, and we even had zombies not that far ago win a Pro Tour, right? Like, so those those archetypes have existed in the past. I mean, you know, even now I can think of some pretty good black, like Gutterbones is a great black 1-drop for aggressive black strategies. What is it? What's the 4/4 Trampler called?
The 4/4 Trampler.
The Spectacle Demon.
The Spawn of Mayhem.
The Spawn of Mayhem. Also a solid aggressive black strategy creature. So they exist. I mean, there might be times, I mean, often, you know, it'll just be like, hey, what does this format need? Do we want an aggressive black strategy? And if we determine that we do, then we can look to push things a little further, for sure.
Why do we draw this? That is like the saddest thing.
I have a nice one. This was during FFL testing. I think in one of the decks it was ultimately decided. I think this is a Donald Smith special, but it was ultimately decided that 3 Growth Chamber Guardians was the correct number in one of the tournament decks.
No, I just don't think that's true.
I was just like, come on, this can't be correct.
Well,
They're
you
like,
always
no,
draw
no.
the second one.
Yeah.
That's the problem. All right, now I'm pretty
This
sure
card's really good
our
against control,
opponent
though.
has an absorb, so I'm just going to just play nothing here.
We'll attack and see what happens.
Yeah, I guess like sure if they play seal away,
Yeah.
then I will play the reclamation.
Well, you do have
sure,
2
but-
Growth Chamber Guardians though. You can just play one. If it gets absorbed, just play the other one, right? Like,
Yeah,
and our
but-
opponent can't Wrath on turn 4 with their mana. I think you just play them out. That's what I would do.
I was really like wanting to hold up.
Yeah, but Sinister Sabotage doesn't matter until turn 5 because that's when you really care about Teferi.
That is very true. I'm not sure what I would counter on turn 4.
Chemist's Insight is really the only card I can think
I mean,
of.
I'm not countering that, but
Right.
But yeah,
Exactly.
that's a good point. Oh, and we had another one the whole time because you always draw one after you like.
See, but look,
you always,
now if you had 3,
you can never search up all of them.
if you had 3, you couldn't even search this one up.
Oh, good. Oh, our opponent is
Esper.
actually playing black. Okay.
Yeah, but they didn't have.
We didn't know that
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Now we do.
I wonder if they're just gonna kill this Guardian here. They could do that, but then we can play Reclamation and do nothing with the
our
mana.
opponent played nothing. Okay, we will also play nothing.
Yeah, I think we just beat down.
Yeah, we'll beat down and see what they do. Our opponent's like, what is going on? These green creatures and all the lands produce blue.
So we should just probably shock because they don't really kill us.
Yeah.
Just to play around some syncopates or something that they might have.
Okay, so now does our opponent have negate for our reclamation?
It's possible, but I think it's worth running because they only usually play 1 or 2.
I'm so scared. If they counter this reclamation and play Teferi, we just can't win. You know?
Yeah.
It's so tough.
What are they going to do with the Teferi?
I mean, probably draw a card.
Well, if you play a land untapped, I think you just have to play into negate just because they usually only play 1. It is like literally a 1 of it. If they have syncopate, also make sure you keep the end of the turn thing because you want to float mana so you can
you're right.
you can Growth Chamber Guardian and keep up Sabotage.
Oh, it resolved. Okay.
So end of turn trigger and then
Oh,
once the
we
trigger
wait
goes
for
on
the
the
trigger
stack.
to happen,
Yeah, and
and
then
then we add
float a
mana.
mana. And then
Okay.
untap and then Growth Chamber Guardian.
So we just have to remember to just like always set the stop immediately when our turn starts.
Yep, like that.
Okay.
Shaco, they play either 1 or 2 negates. Boom. But again, it's still just like a numbers game, right? Like if they have literally only 2 cards, then you should still like, you can't play around absolutely everything.
And our opponent needs lands.
Yep. Although we are kind of out of gas. But we this never-ending stream of 4/4s and just get our opponent.
Our opponent didn't play a land.
Wow, that's weird.
Wow.
Beat downs.
Yeah, we'll beat down here. Our opponent will probably absorb our other guy, which I'm fine with.
Mm-hmm. How many cards in their graveyard? 4?
4.
Okay. We are playing Best of 1 Arena Ranked, currently playing a Team of Reclamation deck, but it's got Growth Chamber Guardians and Frilled Mystics. So it can actually win with just a bunch of creatures.
I don't feel the need to shock here. I'm just
Okay.
gonna do this now, then
Okay.
untap.
Sure. The technically correct thing to do is wait for the trigger to go on the stack, float the mana.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep, we should have waited for the trigger to go on the stack.
Right.
Because Mortify is
So
definitely.
now our opponent can Wrath.
Yes.
And we do not have counter magic.
Yes. Our
See,
opponent.
these are the mistakes that I made when I first played the deck.
Yep. Our opponent is missing a land right now.
Right.
We don't need to shuffle our deck. We're good. But we did anyway.
Yep. All right, no black source, please. Because if they mortified our reclamation and we let it resolve.
Oh, our opponent did not keep their 5th land. So
because they wanted a black source and they found a black. Yeah, now we're in trouble.
Yeah, and they found a black. Yeah, if they have wrath, we're just.
Oh wow.
Okay.
They're willing to take the damage for that is really surprising. Wait. Oh, they bend the Kaya's Wrath. They don't have one in hand.
No, I think they bend the Kaya's Wrath because they had no black at the time.
Right. What I'm saying is also, for some reason, I thought they had Kaya's Wrath in hand.
All right, we drew a great one. I'm just gonna shock this.
Yeah, and then just beat down.
Yeah, we'll if our opponent taps out, we'll just draw cards.
Yep, I like that. Esper, yeah. We should really just play a deck that just crushes Esper. Like mono blue with lots of negates main. And then we're just going to run into aggro decks.
We played against Esper every round.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I was playing the
here we go.
white deck a little bit yesterday.
Yep.
And I played against mono red every round.
Well, it's game if our opponent
if our opponent taps out, we can we can do something.
But the thing is now, like if our opponent plays Kaya's Wrath, we can respond by explosion for 3.
Yes. All right, now our opponent has a search. Now our opponent can Wrath with counter backup.
Yep. That would be... Okay.
Oh, wow. Our opponent
we
has
win!
Nothing.
We win!
So we just can't... We're still going to let this resolve and not let them do anything. Because they have to react to our 2/4/4, our 2 lethal
I can't
creatures.
even think of... Yeah, I cannot think of anything.
Yeah, nothing. Like... Yeah, we have more land.
Grow Chamber Guardian's getting it done. They're like the kind of techie little card in the deck. You know?
Yeah. Cast down. Great. There's no 1 mana thing, right?
No.
There's
Fungal Infection?
There's dead weight.
Fungal Infection.
Fungal Infection would do it,
Yeah,
but I mean, but our opponent doesn't know about this explosion.
You're happy seeing not Esper gameplay, yeah. I want more Grixis in my life. Unfortunately, we do not. We looked.
Wow, I'm really bad at killing my opponent's creatures.
We looked at making Grixis, but well, we keep playing against Esper. That's the problem.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, our opponents don't have creatures.
I will say this. I'm expecting a good amount of Esper at the Invitational. Just like from what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of streamers, like not MPL players, but just like the streamers that are invited to the event.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing a lot of Esper. Our opponent goes first. Okay.
Keep this. Ooh, okay.
It's our good friend Niv.
Steam Vents. Oh, that's sad.
Our good friend Niv
our 4
is
lands
not
do not
so good against this one drop here. And this was not a good draw. We wanted to draw a red land.
Plat 1 to Plat 4 in 3 hours. Oof, that's rough. You know, sometimes you got to take a little break, you know, and then just recalibrate. Maybe think about some different things that maybe you can configure your deck. That's what I do. Or another thing that I like to do is tilt join with the tilt join with the answer to the deck I previously lost to, only to lose to some other deck that that counters the deck that I brought to counter. So for example, you know, if I lost a white weenie deck, I'll bring a deck with a bunch of Wraths, and then I'll lose to the control deck. That's usually what happens to me.
I'm going to expansion this and kill the creature.
I like that. Yeah, the classic get more tilted plan. Who hasn't done it? Let's be real here. Yes, now we have a chance to kill our... Does this count as killing an opponent's creature? It does, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're killing the creature.
Boom! We're at 10, not too bad.
It's not... It's kind of bad.
Hey, we have life gain. We're about to gain 1 life next turn.
Yeah.
Look at that.
We can gain 1 life
That's
next turn.
1/3 of a lightning.
But we also might not. We'll see what we draw. Oh, the Flame of Keld. Wow.
Ooh, that's a little scary.
Yes, it's very scary.
Get all these shock lands into play.
Oh, red land.
Ooh, that's good.
Let's not pay 2 life.
Yep.
Okay.
I kind of like playing Krasis for 2.
Yeah, I like that too.
And then
next turn we can.
And then the visit.
Yep. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Now we can play our good friend Niv.
Yep. Niv's a good one. Although we might just die to Flame of Keld.
This dragon.
So if our opponent has burn spells, shouldn't they just wait? Wait, shouldn't they
I
wait?
believe they should, yeah.
Oh wait, they have another flame.
Oh.
Wait, what happens
Oh,
next
no.
turn?
What happens next turn?
Like, okay, so all the damage gets doubled,
Yep.
and they draw the cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they could definitely kill us next turn.
So
we can gain 2 life.
So if our opponent draws 2 lightning strikes, we're dead no matter. No, that's 10 damage, right?
It's +2. Yep.
Yep. But if they draw lightning strike plus shock, then we don't die. Maybe it is better to play Crisis this turn.
Yeah, I just think we
Yeah.
want to just gain life here.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
So we are going to gain life.
We're gonna gain 2 life. And then we beat down, right?
Of course.
Yeah. If they want to use a burn spell on the Crisis, that's fine.
Yeah, if they like play a 2/2 haste, I'll block.
All right, cross fingers. Hope it's lands. Okay.
All right, we're blocking.
We can block that one. Oh.
All right, we're taking 4.
Okay.
Maybe we shouldn't have attacked.
Maybe.
Maybe we messed up.
What is this?
Is it a lightning strike? It's a lightning strike.
Okay. This is rough. Ooh, that helps.
Oh, that helps a lot. So we can go wilderness. And then we can play
Chemisters?
chemisters, and we have sinister sabotage.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I'm playing. All right, let's. I think I can play a stomping ground.
I don't know. Yeah.
Cause like, yeah, we can play a stomping ground, play a chemisters, and we still have 4 mana remaining.
Yeah, unless we want to give ourselves answers to multiple sinister sabotages.
They only get 1 card next turn.
Oh,
because
you're
they
right.
already
You're
drew
right.
2.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
So this works.
Okay. So
And
make
I
sure
have
you
to put
keep
the
us
end
stop.
step stop.
No
No
attacks.
attacking.
Float 2.
Did we do it? Resolve. Oh, we did it. Another Niv.
All right.
Oh my god, we can never tap out again.
Nope.
One life. Oh my
Snap
god, yes, block.
So we can't even chemisters here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Unless our opponent taps out for something, but I don't know why they would.
Oh! Okay. Okay, now we can chemisters.
We're so safe.
Get that breeding pool out of there. Or Niv, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I don't
Probably
know.
breeding pool, we're not going to need.
We don't need either of them, so.
Okay, so that helps. Now we can Niv Mizzet?
Alright, now we can play our good friend Niv.
Alright, alright.
Alright, so, and we have no chemisters. We don't have to float mana here. Okay,
I
so
mean, you
we
can,
just-
you could technically Shiv and Fire your Niv Mizzet to draw a card if you wanted.
Oh, I totally. Do I want to do that?
Well, we have a backup Shiv and Fire.
Yeah, and our opponent is only drawing 1 card a turn. Yeah, I like it. We're gonna do it.
Are you sure?
Yes,
I like that.
yes,
I like
Magdalena,
that it
I'm
asks.
sure.
And then make sure you ping them.
Oh,
Don't
oh
ping
my god,
ourselves.
yeah. No, like I would have pinged Niv Mizzet because I would have
Yeah.
just thought that I was targeting with Shiv and Fire. Alright, we don't need to float.
My only thing with Wilderness Reclamation is like actually playing the card's kind of annoying.
Alright. Okay, we did it. So we draw a card, we target them,
Then we counter.
then we cast this spell.
Oh yeah, we got this one on lockdown.
We draw a card, we target them.
And we surveil.
Oh, and then we... Do I care?
Well, it does make sure they die in 2 turns.
And we have a Sinister
Yeah,
Sabotage?
yeah.
No, I think this is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is totally fine. Do I want to draw 1 more card?
I don't think you need to.
I don't think I need to either.
You just have it locked up with Sabotage under Growth Chambers.
Oh, hold on.
Whoa,
oh,
whoa,
get out of
whoa,
here.
whoa,
You can tell I like don't
Yeah.
play Niv Mizzet on here very much. Okay,
Play untap land.
land doesn't matter
play
all
the
that much.
thing and just
We get to
activate
just
it.
do whatever we want here. Play more of this.
Opponent out is definitely us misclicking and pinging ourselves.
Oh, definitely. Okay, so now we have a stop for,
at this
for our
point,
end of
just
turn.
yeah. At this point,
We get to attack,
yeah. You don't even really need to float the mana. I mean, technically it's correct,
but it's so fun.
all right, fine. Oh, Banefire incoming. That would be sick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
then our opponent just totally has us.
Yeah.
then our opponent deserves it.
All right, look at this.
Look at
This
all
was
these
kind of
beautiful cards in our
this
hands.
was like the fair way to play Wilderness Reclamation.
Mhm.
You know, get a little mana, get to counterspell. Oh.
Opponent, I'm so sorry. Okay, let's target our opponent.
Should we Growth Spiral? No,
Oh
we
my
shouldn't.
god,
Let's just
that's
counter.
so
Let's just
mean.
counter.
That is, we can't do that. All right, we're gonna target our opponent again. All right, we did it. Okay, everything is fine. We did it. Okay.
All right, we got there. Hey Paul, wondering was there any flip lands from Ixalan that were deemed too powerful and didn't make it into the set? Well, I was not here for the development
I can totally answer
of
this.
Ixalan, so I can ask Melissa.
Yeah, I can probably answer this.
I'm assuming maybe some rates had to be adjusted due to power level.
Yeah, definitely. So we wanted them to all see constructed play. So we when we first received the file. So first of all, some background information. There was no play design team. There was no set design team. We had design and we had development. And so I was a development play tester at the time.
Ooh, nice hand. If you're on the play.
Oh, this is great. Sure. So we didn't have any say in anything before it got into our hands when it went into development. So when it got into our hands, there was some weird stuff going on with the cards. Like we were pretty confident that a lot of them would just not be constructed.
Ooh, this hand's very bad against mono white.
Some designs that did not change was the growing rights. Like that one was always a Gaia's Cradle, and that maybe actually the flip conditions were all different. The flip conditions were all nonsense at the time, I think. Sorry, it's really hard to play and talk at the same time, but I'll try my best.
Yeah, I mean, the ones that you see currently being played right now are Legion's Landing and Search for Azcanta as the most predominantly played ones. And I mean, at least from the testing that I did,
this is gonna be a tough one to win.
that was the sense that I got as well in terms of the most likely, most impactful flip enchantments that flipped into lands were those two, right? Because both of those conditions are you either build a deck with a bunch of spells or you build a deck with a bunch of aggressive white creatures. Those are strategies that have existed since the beginning of Magic, and so those are pretty easy to kind of fulfill. But some of the other ones you have to get a little more creative.
All right, so when we got those 5 cards, the first thing we did was try to identify what kind of deck do I want to play this in. So for the white one, white weenie deck, right? And then the blue one, a control deck. So then we tried to figure out what do I want this card to do in my control deck, and what do I want the reward to be when you flip
This
it.
is super
right?
awkward. Do we want to shock? Or no?
This is actually really awkward, yeah.
Profane is a sick limited card.
We
thought
probably do have to counter something.
Right. We thought that
So
there was some chance that it might see constructed play, but it ended up not a little bit on the slower side.
Yeah, so anyway, continuing on with this story, I think the easiest ones to talk about are the two that are seeing play in a lot of tier 1 decks, which is the white and the blue.
Treasure Map also.
Okay, we can get to that one later. That one's not part of the cycle. Well, it's a part of the cycle of artifacts, if that even is a cycle. I think I care about this. I think I just care about everything.
Okay.
But also,
it also helps you surveil.
I also think that I'm dead.
You also just really want to land, so.
Yes, that is true.
Really want a buddy land. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I don't think you're dead, by the way. We are very much.
We have to play the Frilled Mystic on our turn. Because 3 for. Oh
No. We play Reclamation.
Oh yeah. Well, I meant Reclamation into that, but.
Oh, when they attack.
I don't know. I guess we don't. We can just take it, and then double Growth Spiral or Chemisters or something.
Yeah. We can evaluate after.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So for the white one, we knew that one of White Weenie's weaknesses is after a sweep.
You want them to just play something.
They just can't recover.
Yeah.
Yes.
Easiest Frilled Mystic ever.
So that's why we decided to go with the tokens, because that's the best thing you can do after a Wrath. Just have a consistent token maker, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned this last week. I talked to Marcio Carvalho, who top 8'd the last Mythic Championship, and I was like, "Hey, what's the best card in your deck?" And he was just like, "Legion's Landing. It wasn't Banalish Marshall. It wasn't History Banali. He was just like Legion's Landing.
No,
just
our
does it
Wilderness
all.
Reclamation. We needed that.
Well, at least they didn't attack, right?
I guess, but now I just feel so dead.
Well, now we got another blocker
Yeah, I'm just
here.
gonna Growth Chamber. I'm wondering if I should just play Growth Spiral first.
I mean, you're gonna do it anyways, so might as well.
Yeah, just maybe.
But it doesn't really matter. I
No,
guess.
you're right. It doesn't matter.
Well,
It's not like I'm hitting a land drop, right? If I draw land, I'm putting into play, so it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
Let them think we have something. All right, so that was the white one, and then the blue one. It was like, how do control decks lose? Well, if you run out of like stuff. So we wanted to make that one a consistent card advantage engine.
Didn't Carvalho get called by? You know what? Honestly, I think at least that specific incident that people are talking about, 90%, even the pros. Because look, I used to play on the Pro Tour, you know, now the Mythic Championship. That is the type of mistake that I can see anybody making. You know what this was? This was it was somebody played Cry of the Carnarium, and then he sacrificed a Dauntless Bodyguard.
Yep.
In response to put it into his graveyard because he had an Ajani in play, and I'm like, okay, let's be real here, and a lot of people would have made that mistake. A lot of people.
Well, we're just gonna play 2 of these.
Because I think a lot of people assumed the way Cry of the Carnarium works was kind of like Flaying Tendrils.
Yeah, it's worded in a very awkward and not intuitive way.
So there might be other instances that maybe some people say like there might be some weird stuff happening, but that specific instance, like it's like, come on, that's if people want to get on him about that, that's like, I feel like people are just more looking for a reason to say something. All right, we still lost. Oh well.
Yeah, the Banalish Marshall is what did us in. Alright, I gotta be honest, this one is a lot harder to play while also speaking. Like, it's just so hard to just, like, gather my words into cohesive sentences. So I'll play one more of this one and then switch.
Do you have a reasoning for why Cry of the Carnarium was worded the way that it is?
Yes. We decided to go with that wording because we wanted to still give you dice triggers. Wait, hold on. Not give you dice triggers. I know there's a reason for this. Hold on. No, this was an active choice. It didn't just
because at one point I believe
everything.
at one point I do believe that it did kind of have the Flaying Tendrils text, and it was modified, and there was a good reason, and I'm trying to remember what it was, but there was definitely a good reason.
I think it was because like we had a lot of sacrifice outlets that we were playing, and we wanted to just like remove everything, even if they sacrificed everything in response or something.
So it wasn't in response to recursion.
It was that too, I think.
Okay. Makes it clear with Afterlife, somebody said. I think it's for beginning players. It makes it clear with Afterlife. To get around Vanguard and Afterlife? No, well, it gives -2/-2, so it would kill the Vanguard no matter what. Yeah,
and something like Cry of the Carnarium would also just like a... Hold on.
Flaying Tendrils?
Flaying Tendrils will also just stop Afterlife. So,
right.
But there was a reason why we decided to give it the Cry of the Carnarium text as opposed to Flaying Tendrils. And it had to do with, like, we just, like, if you sacrifice everything or just had a way to get rid of your stuff before it resolved, we still wanted them to be exiled.
Right. All right, another control deck. But I think we're actually pretty good against control.
Yeah, I think we're fine here. Like, I think they just have a really hard time playing around everything if we resolve a Wilderness Reclamation.
Yeah, the best card to draw in this match, Burley's Chemisters, like by far.
Yeah, we need to hit land drops.
What card from you, Melissa, what card from you starting at WotC has shocked the most in Standard compared to how you tested it? So I guess...
Oh, I want to totally counter this.
Syncopate this. Oh, wow. Syncopate into Wilderness Reclamation? Oh,
that feels great.
Oh, yeah. We are truly doing it, folks. Truly doing it. What Cry does is, even if creatures were put into graveyard the turn that you cast it, so if you sack something in response, if it hits your graveyard, after Cry resolves, it still gets exiled. That's what Cry does. Any creatures that went into the graveyard this turn would be exiled.
We don't have double blue.
Oh
That's
yeah.
so sad. Well, it's
Right.
Chemisters.
Yeah.
Maybe Shiv and Fire this thing.
Just really want lands.
Definitely. And we can Chemisters on our turn, I guess.
Yeah, to find a land.
Yeah, I'm thinking they have Dive Down, but we'll see what we draw. Okay, great.
Okay, so this is what I recommend.
Okay,
you
let's
play
see.
that
Let's see.
untapped, trigger on the stack, float the mana, let the trigger resolve, then you Shiv and Fire.
That sounds fine.
Yep. Whoa. That was loud.
Alright, anyway, I was about to answer the question you asked me. But hold on. I'm in the middle of
We're
something
resolving
here.
a reclamation trigger. And the reason why we're doing this, folks, is to make sure that we have mana in case our opponent has something like a dive down to counter.
Oh, I want to add red.
See, yeah.
I just defaulted added everything.
And then you hit resolve.
Yep.
And then you kill the thing.
Oh, now I have to hit resolve. Yes, let's resolve that one.
All right, and now we are in the driver's seat.
That's it. Oh,
That's it.
Now we just say go.
Yes.
Oh wow, this game's so easy.
Yeah. Reclamation, powerful card.
Anyway, to answer.
Oh, get that Mystic on the battlefield.
Shiv and IRL's question. Oh, we can counter. We can totally counter
We
this.
can totally Mystic
with
that
this
thing.
with this Frilled Mystic.
Oh yeah. Can't even get Spell Pierce.
Paul, this is so hard. I can't answer anything.
It's okay. It's okay. That's why there's two of us.
I really wanted to answer this guy's question, and I just
What's the
actually
question?
just can't
Maybe-
do it. It was the one about what was the card that surprised me the most.
Oh sure.
I have an answer.
Okay. What is the card?
Nexus of Fate.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the card would just be more of like a fringe, like role player type card. I didn't think it was going to be a 4 in a tier 1 deck. We drew a Wilderness Reclamation that makes us win so much faster. So I'm going to play this. Add a mana.
All right. So
Not
Citrus
out of
stop.
it now,
Citrus stop.
but-
No. 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 No.
No!
See, this
We
is
ruined it!
No, Melissa!
I didn't know Magic Online or Arena was just gonna go way through all that fast.
That is why this. Yeah. Okay.
I thought it was gonna give
It's
me a
fine.
chance.
It's fine. We're still super ahead. Just Chemisters. Make sure you Chemisters.
Do I want to even?
Yes. Yes.
I
Just discard your
guess.
Shiv and Fire. Yeah. You just want to keep hitting land drops.
Okay.
Like if our opponent counters this, it's fine.
But I'm so sad now. I just didn't expect it to auto pass. But
Okay.
yeah, this is fine.
Yes,
Okay,
just gross
we
power.
have a stop now. So what can we do? I think we can just go to the end step and play maybe.
No,
I don't really want a Crisis here.
No, I think you just grow spiral.
Just on the main. Yeah,
right,
I
because
guess
you might draw some other stuff to play.
Yeah, that's true.
You've forgotten that stop. So yeah. So everybody else,
Okay.
do we play this?
You know, I'm not sure. What do we think our opponent?
They have Shiv and Fire in their deck. I think we should wait until one. We should
Okay.
wait one turn.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we're not
that
gonna
sounds
go
good.
for an. Are we going for? Here's a question. Do you want to go for an expansion explosion with Sinister Sabotage up, or do you just want to wait?
I don't think this turn.
Okay, so just wait.
Yeah.
So then just
So
let
we
all
just
the
do
triggers
nothing.
happen. Yeah, happen.
Okay. Now we have the stop and we're not using it.
Yeah.
No. Well, this is a hard deck to play.
Yeah.
Cleansing Nova.
Let's counter that one.
I would love to counter this.
Yeah. I should probably get the concession. I mean, I would concede. But
Yeah, because I'm just probably just going to Expansion Explosion here.
Yep.
All right, resolve. We did not find. I mean,
I don't think we
I
need that.
Yeah, I think I just want
Yeah.
not that.
like land is just 3 mana sources.
I just want a counter or something. Do I bother playing this, or do I just use that 2 mana to just draw 2 more cards?
So if you expansion explosion, you can do it and try to find a Sinister Sabotage or Frilled Mystic. Is that the plan?
I think that's the plan.
Okay. So then set a stop at end of turn,
Yes.
and then
Definitely.
just Alright.
Yeah.
and then triggers go on the stack.
I'm just so scared I'm gonna mess
Okay.
up.
So
Okay,
you do
so
this.
I'm gonna add. First, I'm gonna make sure that I add the right colors.
Yeah, remember there's two triggers too.
And then once I do that, I don't care
Yeah.
about what else. All right, so resolve the first one.
Just mixing it up.
Yeah,
okay,
mix it
resolve
up.
it. And then I think you want to do it for maybe one more. So if you draw Frilled Mystic, you can do it too.
Yeah.
Right, because you're already drawing a ton of cards.
I like that. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's for 7.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's a
whoa,
lot.
cast your spell.
Oh, yeah, no, we're doing it. I just want to make sure that I'm not messing up. 7.
Yep.
Target
player. Target player. Wait. Target a creature. Target them.
Yes, and then target me with the draw. Okay.
Yeah. And then and then resolve. Yeah. Easy game.
Oh, we did it. Okay, great.
All right.
Now we can
discard.
pass.
Yeah, discard some lands.
Yeah, we can discard this.
2 lands maybe.
Yeah, I think 2 lands. Maybe
Maybe one growth spiral. Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Team effort.
We can't counter that. We can growth spiral in response.
Growth spiral. Whoa,
That's not
whoa.
a growth spiral.
Yeah.
That's a growth spiral. Yeah, we're not doing anything else, yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think we can beat that card. Let's play a huge crisis, right?
Yeah, I guess so. So it's for 1, 2, 3, for 5. That is all the lands. Yeah, and I didn't even set the stop anyway.
Do you intentionally have a rough estimate of the number of constructed playable cards in each set? As in, do you intentionally avoid having too many good cards? Well, one important thing is just to make sure that, the thing is, if every single card in every single set was just a standard card, 100% to go into all your standard decks, then at some point we're gonna hit a point where you just can't make playable constructed cards, right? You're just gonna be power creeping on top of each other. So it's important for us to just maintain a good balance. It's important for us to maintain a good balance, with each set that comes out. So and on top of that, every time we make a set, it's like we need to make cards for all kinds of different audiences, right? It's not even necessarily just for standard, but there's some stuff that we know, like, hey, this is the type of design that more casual players would like, and we definitely make sure that there's a bit of variety there as well. Also, wow, I think we're losing now.
Yeah, so this is just like a classic case of we drew the wrong half of our deck at the wrong time.
Well, we drew these growth chamber guardians.
Now we have all these growth chamber.
We might. Okay, look, we might just win. At this point, we're just trying to win with these, right? So let's just play them all and adapt them all.
And set the stop.
Set the stop.
Right now, and then play one of these lands.
Yeah. Was I involved with the Horizons testing? If it was, it was pretty minimal. I mean, we had a separate team to do a lot of the Modern Horizons testing.
We mostly worked on the draft format.
Right.
I might have added too much mana here. We'll see.
It's fine. Can you guys give us any information about the announcement on March 31st? Nope. Also, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
because
I'm
we
not
make
sure.
so many announcements with so many different products and so many different schedules that for me it's actually kind of a benefit that I don't necessarily know every single thing that's about to go out. Like, I might know the information, but oftentimes I won't know like exactly what date something gets announced or whatever. Will Priests of Forgotten Gods get some friends in the next set? Priests of Forgotten Gods will always get friends.
He already has friends.
Because guess what you need with Priests of Forgotten Gods? Creatures. And we will not stop printing creatures. But Priests of Forgotten Gods, it was meant to kind of work a lot with some of the afterlife stuff going on. That way you can sack creatures and still get some value on top of that.
I think we're dead.
Wow. We kind of whiffed on that expansion spell. Well, our opponent played like...
We're the deadest.
Nip Visit was like the only card they could have had. Right?
Yeah, because we had the Frilled Mystic. We had a counter for whatever they did.
Yeah.
But it was a thing that we just couldn't counter.
Oh well.
Yeah, creatures are confirmed.
And also, what's up, Eris? How you doing? It's been a while. Alrighty.
So SF Dragon asks, what goes into rarity decisions? Wilderness Reclamation, for example, being a high and uncommon instead of rare. So like we are trying to just have desirable cards at all rarities. We don't want all the standard cards to be mythic and rare.
Yeah. So we are trying to make more of an effort so that when you open a booster pack, you don't just go immediately to the rare. So by kind of working on that process, we also have started to look at, hey, what are some of the types of effects or some of the types of cards that we can maybe push at uncommon. So oftentimes now you will sometimes see a card where previously it would have been a rare and be like, oh, that's interesting. But I think for the most part it's mostly upside, right? Because now you open a card that you thought might have been a rare and now it's an uncommon. You're like, okay, cool. I now have this desirable card that I can get a lot easier than I would if it was just only sitting at rare.
So some of the things that we look for is like, will this card be busted and limited? So in the example of Wilderness Reclamation, it's not doing anything in limited, so it's a safe card to put it uncommon.
Right. And on top of that, I think there might be a good amount of people, let's say Wilderness Reclamation didn't hit, right? It's a very unique card, and it's a type of card where like if you didn't hit, people could be like, oh, this feels pretty sad that I opened this card as a rare. Whereas, if you have a super sweet rate creature, many people will be very, very happy with opening something like that.
And another thing that we ask,
like we're not gonna make Nullhide Ferox at uncommon, for example.
The other thing is, will this card add positively to limited?
Yeah.
I messed this game up. I probably should have just.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna keep up Syncopate because they could have done.
Yeah,
this.
I probably should have. I would just.
You can attack.
I can.
Well, they're not gonna block, so it's a free attack. But then I don't know what you do after.
Yeah, that's a good question.
You might just need to Growth Spiral, hope you hit a land, and then Syncopate. It's just like you're not gonna win if you. Oh, okay. You're right. I guess you could just Growth Spiral at any point.
I would specifically need a blue land.
Yeah.
This draw was just.
Light Warrior, we are less concerned with that thought process. Okay, so we just Growth Spiral. Alright, we're dead.
Yeah, I think so.
Just that's the problem. The blue deck is kind of like they're like the gatekeepers, right? If you want to do something fun, something janky, the mono blue deck kind of is the deck that will like prevent some of that from happening because it puts on a clock and it has a lot of counter magic.
It's forcing me to play this game forever. I'm trying.
That's the nightmare, right?
I'm trying to concede.
Imagine you're like Nexus of Fate locked and you can't concede. And you relog and it's still
right.
Okay.
It turns out we just lost our connection, so we conceded anyway, I guess.
Do you guys actually wear MTG branded clothing all the time at work, or are these your outfits for streaming? Not all the time. I feel like it's pretty appropriate to wear it on our weekly streams, so I will often wear my jacket or a shirt, but I do not have a shirt for every day of the week to wear at work.
Yep.
And it's not like there's no dress code or anything like that for this kind of stuff.
Okay, we're gonna switch decks.
Sure. Unless we go out to like actual events, right? Then you have to wear we have to wear WotC gear. Hello, LOL, the Joe.
Gruul? We're gonna try slow Gruul. Try something a little different.
It's called Alt F4. What I'm saying is the nightmare scenario is you're in an endless loop, and even if you relog, you're still in the endless loop until you rope out. Despite the team wreck enjoying the stream. Well, thank you. Glad that you've enjoyed it. We're going to play slightly easier decks so Melissa can actually answer your questions.
Yeah, it's too hard.
Because the teamer deck requires lots of... It's a very engaging deck.
That was a rough one. Like, I mean, if I had full concentration on the game, maybe we would have won another game. I don't know. We won a game, right?
We might have beat the Esper person. Somehow. Maybe if we decided that we should have drawn more cards, or... I have no idea.
Did we lose all the games?
No, we won the first game.
Okay.
Yeah. LOL, the Joe has a Javier Dominguez emote, so I'm assuming you are a sub to Javier Dominguez. Wait, by the way, is it Javier or is it Javier? So I've heard Rich Hagon say Javier. So maybe I should have
yeah.
gotten clarification from Rich. But if whatever Rich says, I assume is correct. So it might be Javier. Maybe somebody can clarify.
Yeah, I think that name is usually pronounced Javier.
Okay.
But I've known people like who live in this country with that name who just went by Javier, but it might kind of be like, well, everyone calls me that, so I guess I'll just go by that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would. My default would have been Javier with my
I'm
my
gonna
default
go
American.
Lava Coil here. Even though I do like saving
He is Spanish
Lava
though.
Coil
He's not
for a bigger thing, but I really want to play the Hellkite next turn, so I'm just gonna use all my mana this turn and play 2 spells.
I can just ask him at the next event. I'll do that. Depends on the country, language, region. Yeah, for sure. You know, maybe different places in South America. You got super punished.
I was so punished.
Like insanely punished.
I deserve it. I'm gonna play this land because he knows about it, and I'm just gonna play this with a counter.
Yep.
Wow, I was super punished.
It's okay. We're still looking all right. Unless our opponent has double burn. I guess we just have to take it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We're just racing.
Yeah. Now that we know our opponent is playing Gruul and not mono red, because, like, we didn't know that before.
If his girlfriend on stream pronounces the R, I assume that's the correct way to pronounce
Definitely, yeah.
So.
That's a good way to...
Okay, so then maybe it was just Rich Hingon doing British things with the Javier. Oh man. It's okay, we're just gonna draw Lava Coil.
Oh, now we're just gonna play a bunch of Jade Lights.
Oh man, this is so sad.
Let's start with this Jade Light.
Alright,
There
hopefully
could be
we hit a green
Lava Coil
source.
on top.
Oh!
That's a Lava Coil. See? We did it.
You are very good at this game. Treasure map?
Yeah.
Might as well.
And I'll still scry even because I just want to put counters on it.
Right.
I'll just do it now. So like my opponent just has all the information, and I don't have to click anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I can attack. Great.
Play well, get rewarded. Yup. Maximum mana efficiency is what we were going for, right? If we get it, if there are prizes for using all your mana every turn, we would have gotten the prize. Crawl, harpoon.
We have no flyers.
Yep. Well, we got the Hellkite.
Well, later.
Yeah.
But not now. So yeah, like I just thought this was mono red. I've never seen Bull play this Pyromancer before.
Yeah.
Okay, we did it. We can kill this
So
person.
do we want to scry first or after?
Oh, I don't know. What are you supposed to do in this situation?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
Yeah, so if we choose to keep the card, we don't get any value out of the treasure map.
Okay.
But if we choose to keep with treasure map, the same thing, right?
Just run. I would just run it out. I would just run out the J-Light Ranger.
I think it's better to do this first, actually.
What if you hit a land on top?
The card,
if you hit a land on top,
more cards.
If you hit a land on top, do you want to keep the land?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I want land. I think I have plenty of land. All right, I'm gonna do this first.
Okay. Well, you should have really paid attention.
Do I want this? I don't know. What do I do? Am I supposed to keep this card?
I would assume that that's a good card to keep. It's just a good removal spell.
So now we...
I think it's... The way I look at it, I think it's extremely greedy not to keep a 5 damage burn spell.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's not that many draws in your deck that's better than just drawing Banefire. Outside of the dragon.
Our opponent has a ton of burn.
All right, let me try to get through some questions here.
We haven't had a question in a while. Okay, now that I have this Banefire, now what do? I guess I just probably hold it. I'm gonna use this.
I don't think you. Yeah, you can do that.
Because if my top card is like something like a Lava Coil, I don't want to play the Banefire. Now
here's a question: Is shock good too?
I think I want shock.
Yeah, just because you want to clear the way so you can start attacking with J-Light.
So I think I'm keeping this. And yeah, I think you're right. I think maybe I'm just supposed to Banefire this and just attack with the 4/3, and keep the others back, and then next turn shock the 2/1 because I don't think he's blocking. All right, I will choose 2 on you.
Or maybe it's better to attack with Branch Walker. Just the Branch Walker.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, because our opponent might just block sack to kill Branch Walker.
Yep.
So this now puts it on our opponent, and the next turn we can shock Pyromancer and attack with both.
Yep. And now we can draw cards.
Yes.
We did it. Uh-oh. Gruul Dragon? No Gruul Dragon. I'm going to just draw a card first.
Mm-hmm.
We can play all of our spells? Oh my god, life is so good.
Mana efficiency,
oh
folks.
My god, wow.
Mana efficiency.
Alright, I'm just going to shock this guy.
Okay.
I still think I want to counter. Because, like, I am not down here.
For sure.
We do have to play around some stuff, though, right? Like cards that worry me are Gruul Spellbreaker.
Just +1/+1 counter.
Yeah, so we'll just block.
That and attack with everything.
Yeah. Now our opponent is, like, definitely going to block ping, I think.
Yeah,
it's
makes
just
sense.
so good for him.
Makes sense. But we have a lethal attack next turn. They go to 12, and then... Yep.
And we have enough mana to ping twice.
What's up to me is that I watch a video of Paul...
Oh, no, lightning strike our face.
Oh, this is exciting.
Oh my god.
I like this.
This is like his...
I like this.
Oh, he has a lot of burn. Wow. Okay.
Lightning helix off the top, oh my god.
Our opponent played
That's just what happened.
Out.
That's what happened. That is what happened, folks. All right. Amazing facial skincare cream. So thank you, first of all. But I don't use any of that. My wife always tells me to use some kind of facial thing because she always talks to me about how I'm starting to get wrinkles on my face.
Wow.
Whereas she has very smooth, clear skin because she has this whole routine every night. And but yeah, I don't. And believe me, I have aged. I have definitely aged. Two kids will do that.
That's so sad. What do I do? We're on the draw. I really want to keep.
Keep.
Okay. Our opponent drew the lightning strike.
Yep, drew the lightning strike. Well, you know what? I appreciate that. They put themselves in a situation to win, and then they won. Did they ping us with the Firebrand? Or did they ping the 2-1?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
They must have pinged the Firebrand because we were at 6.
Okay.
Our opponent is playing like a Phoenix deck or something.
Listen to your wife, Paul. Lisa's always right. Happy life, happy wife, happy life. Very true. Very true. I have stuck with that way of thinking. Oh, what, did our opponent miss land drop?
Yeah, but we're probably gonna.
No, of course we won't.
What?
Let's go Wildgrowth Walker.
How did we not miss a land drop?
Let's set up. They pinged the 2-1. See, if they're gonna go all in, they should have just pinged us, because then Shock and Pyromancer is also now to kill us.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Especially because we were tapped out. Our opponent did nothing.
Oh, Forest! Give us that Forest!
That would be amazing.
Do we want to just set up for the big turn?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so let's just attack then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because our opponent probably has like one lightning strike, you know? So might as well. Ooh, what are they playing?
Oh, that's fine. Oh, that's fine.
We are happy with that.
Maybe Jeskai control? Oh no, they could also be playing Team of Reclamation and
Yep, for sure.
Or just blue-red control.
Yep. Forest!
It's okay.
I bet it's gonna get countered again.
Yeah, I'm gonna just play the Walker.
Yeah. I would play a land to play around Syncopate.
Yeah, I'll play the land first. Yeah, like that is totally valid.
You play Sam Black in draft, and at least one game, he killed me with a sweet high alert deck. Yeah, Sam likes drafting wacky stuff.
I love the high alert deck. It's one of my favorite decks to draft in this format. I think the Gate deck is my favorite.
Yep.
All right, so our opponent played like he had a counter.
They're discarding Chemister's Insight. All right, Branch Walker.
Yeah, we're gonna just do it because I think he just has Syncopate.
They could also have Sabotage, but yes, we did it. Wait, no, Lightning Strike. Oh, whatever. That's fine.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That
is
that only
totally
kills
fine.
one thing.
All right, give us a land. Yes. Oh yeah, everything is coming up, Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
Ill-Gotten Inheritance Tribal is my favorite deck. That is also a solid card. I will say that's another card that I think has been overperforming relative to our expectations for limited. It's just seeing a lot of play, and I think it's weird. There's been different. It's been at different parts of the pendulum. I think. I feel like in the beginning, many people didn't think it was very good because it's a 4-mana enchantment that doesn't affect the board, and then it was like, oh, this thing can just take over the game because like if you're playing a slow deck, it like you just can't do anything to it. And then it's come full circle where it's like, no, if somebody's like playing a really aggressive strategy, having this in your opening is kind of a liability. So I think it's kind of like hit this nice middle ground, but it's definitely a real card for the limited format.
I love how
like if you jam all 5 and your opponent goes
cheaper.
1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, you're just completely dead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're now in the mono red bracket somehow, which is not bad for this
Yep.
deck. Probably, I bet this Gruul deck is pretty good against mono red. It's
It
got the
has a
Mono
lot
blocker
of burn.
package. Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh, that was a
was
very good
That
one.
was very nice.
Oh, that's kind of awkward because it's like you kind of don't want your creatures to die to Chain Whirler.
Yeah.
Oh, block, easy block.
Oh, very easy.
Snap block.
I mean, I just expected this guy to get shocked, so the fact that it traded with a creature.
Oh yeah. Jadelight Ranger.
Yeah, we're gonna Jade Light.
Yeah, I kind of like hitting land and spell.
Okay,
or that's just good.
Another Phoenix. I think I do want
we
another
just want
Phoenix.
Yeah. Ooh.
My prediction is the opponent has spectacle cards. They probably have a skewer in hand.
Without revealing any spoilers, what are 3 words you would use to describe War of the Spark limited format? Fun, fun, and fun. How about that?
Well, it has colors. It has planeswalkers. It has creatures.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one. Lots of planeswalkers.
Yeah. Like so you guys know that there is a planeswalker in each pack. Therefore, each draft will have 24.
No, honestly, LOL to Joe. I think you just got it right there. Lots of planeswalkers.
Yep.
That would be one way to describe War of the Spark.
All right. What is
fun? Fun. We'll just go fun.
I'm just on the beatdown here.
Oh yeah. Who's the beatdown?
Like I could have actually just played the Hellkite.
You can play Phoenix now.
Yeah, like I'm gonna play Phoenix now
and
for
then
sure.
And
but
then
like,
hasty kill.
But playing the Hellkite was very. Oh, I couldn't even play the land because
you could have just played Hellkite attack this turn for sure.
Yeah, either one was fine. Like it's the same clock.
Did you expect the mono red to dominate even more with the additions from Ravnica Allegiance? If yes, why did those get released? Well, we expected that with Ravnica Allegiance, there were just more options for a lot of other strategies, right? So, certainly there are a few red cards that made the red deck stronger. But like, I don't even think people are saying the red deck's too strong in standard. So I don't even know if that's even that big of an issue, right? Like, I think the red deck is a good, viable option for people who like to play aggressive strategies. But I don't think the red deck is, close to being the best deck in standard. I think it's one of the good decks to play. But I don't think it's, I don't think it's like slam dunk, this is the aggro deck you should be playing. It's not even clear to me, for example, it's not even clear to me that it's better than the white aggressive decks.
So, like, in theory, if a deck is complete, I don't even know if that's the correct word to use, it won't get new cards, but, like, we can't just not make new cards.
Right.
We can't not make red cards,
Yep.
And, like, kind of agreeing with Paul here, we're giving you lots of other decks you can play as well. So, like, Light Up the Stage could have been in a black-red Spectacle deck as well,
Right. But to your point,
Perfect.
I will say that if we do feel, for example, currently the Azorius aggro deck, right? It's one of the best aggressive decks. It's got a lot of 1-drops it can choose from, right? And it's got a great curve. It's just a very, very solid deck, right? And given that it's one of the best decks in our format,
What is
And
my
given that it
opponent
already
doing?
has access to two power creatures for 1 mana, it is very unlikely for us to want to make a third Savannah Alliance effect for standard, right?
Definitely.
So that is something. If, for example, in the file, a designer was like, "Hey, I think this Savannah Alliance effect would be cool." It's like, well, no, we have tuned the format, and we feel like the mono white deck is one of the best decks. Then, if that is the case, we will be like, "Hey, we cannot print this card because we just want there to be a good balance." So we do keep track of stuff like that for sure. New color in war, purple mana. What? Are you sure you can't not make red cards? I feel like we need to create an even distribution of cards in every color in every set. That's what we're going for balance here. We're going for balance. While some of you might hate the red decks, believe me, there's a huge contingency of players who absolutely love red decks.
Was there any discussion of having Spectacle for light up the stage 1 black and not 1 red? Actually, we did discuss that, but in the end we determined it would have been too weird to just have an off-color cost on this red card.
Yeah. We did put it on the Reveler. I think that's the only one, though.
Yeah.
The Spectacle cost being
and even that
Rectus.
was kind of like a controversial
Oh, yeah,
thing.
for sure. Wow, we are getting valued out here.
No, we're fine.
Oh, no, we're totally fine.
No,
Never
like,
mind.
I think we're going to Lava Coil this, attack for 6, and then win with the Banefire next turn. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds fine. Yeah, we'll do it. Like,
Wait.
they're gonna get the Hellkite, but I don't really care. Because we're just gonna win.
Are we just attacking our
Banefire.
opponent to death?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely. Attack opponent. Yeah, so now we're, like, I think I still add this card to the board. And then not the...
If you hit a... Oh.
What is our opponent at? 5? So if I keep Shock, it forces him to deal with this
Keeping Shock seems good.
Yep.
And then keep a card in hand?
Yeah, we don't
in
need
case
to play the
they
treasure
somehow
map.
Ravenous Rats us or something?
Yep.
Yeah. But Torment and Judgment did just fine skewing. I think Torment and Judgment were very unique situations.
Yeah.
And it's not something that we're necessarily looking to replicate.
Yeah, it's hard to just like make that comparison because that set was from like the early 2000s and there was no New World Order. Color Pie was much
Look
different.
at this, and they're gonna do the last points of damage with the Hellkite.
Yeah, so this is
That's
why
really
this
cool.
card is in there because like this deck doesn't really have a strong late game, but
Banefire.
Banefire totally does it. Now our opponent's like, oh, Shock.
That's a fireball.
Shock, silly opponents. They can't kill us with Shock.
Oh, give him the swamp. Give him the
You can
swamp.
have the swamp.
No moment of craving for you.
Opponent, I'm so sorry.
Mm.
4. I have to do it for 5.
Mm.
For just enough. The Banefire.
That was my. Well, he kind of does like this thing, right? Isn't it Sarkin?
Right? Oh, does Sarkin do that?
I think Banefire is like Sarkin's hand. All right. Anyways, look at this. Easier to play, and Melissa's
pack.
Answering a bunch of questions. We call that a win-win.
See, now I can actually look at the chat now.
Slow gruel.
Like before,
is where
it was
it's
not
at.
even close. Like if I looked at the chat, I almost died. Like.
Yeah, his hand turns into a dragon and then it spits fire. Boom.
Nice.
That's the Banefire.
Okay.
All right. What else we got here? With cards like the third Savannah Lions, are those typically just push back a block or two until one of the two lions rotates out? Absolutely. Another thing that we look at is, we time things with the rotation, right? So we can be like, hey, with the rotation, what are we losing, right? And we try to keep that in mind. We won't necessarily give you everything that we lost from the rotation, but over the course of the year, we try to give you and kind of fill in the holes that were lost. We kind of try to prioritize the things that we still need. For example, hey, it feels like we still need to keep Shock around. All right, well, let's put it in the core set or whatever. You know what I mean? So stuff like that we will put in just to kind of either extend the life cycle of the type card. For example, cards like Duress and Negate. You know, if we want the cards like that to always be around, we'll just make sure that it's either in, you know, the fall set when the rotation happens, or possibly even in the core set before to try to extend the life cycle of cards.
Especially with answers like removal, counters, stuff like that.
Right.
But we're less likely to do that with like a unique effect like maybe the Explore package is a good example.
Right. We're not going to have the Explore package, but for example, you know, it's like everybody loves dragons, right? Everybody, you know, in Standard we usually have some kind of big hasty dragon. So if we lose that, we're probably going to look and try to see what the next cool, big, flashy, hasty dragon is going to be. You know, just stuff like that. So it definitely it definitely takes a lot more time, especially when we get close to, like, in our testing cycle, when it comes close to the rotation, because it's like, okay, well, we need you know, whatever, we need planeswalker removal, we need this, we need that. Where can we squeeze this in? Those are always things that we look at for sure.
I can't possibly play any other creatures. I just have to.
Nothing replaces Glory Bee in my heart. Yeah, Glory Bringer's a nice one, but you know,
big hasty dragon.
Skargan Hellkite was kind of the intention there too. It's like, hey, this is a nice big hasty dragon with Riot, and it's pretty powerful, and you know, people are playing it.
We can't really talk about like upcoming mechanics,
right,
the Examiner, so that's not really a question we can answer.
Nothing replaces Glory Bee in Wyatt Darby's heart. Yeah, I'm sure he's got that Glory Bringer framed on his wall in the back while he streams. I know I would. That was a pretty nice one. Ooh.
So I can just get in for 3, or I can just play the two things. Yeah, I like the two things better too. We also, like, we're probably not going to have enough damage to win with creatures, so we're going to have to rely on drawing our Banefire. We can't keep this. Right? Like,
I think we can. Because we don't have any more lands, and like next turn we're going to...
that we will eventually draw
Right.
We will eventually
That's
draw
the thing,
land.
right? We're in a situation, if we draw the Hellkite, because we have a play next turn, if we draw the Hellkite, that means land or spell is good, right? Because we can drop the Hellkite. So I think we want to keep this. It's just a big, hard-hitting threat.
Yeah, plus, like, our opponent just has to answer our stuff.
What are all the abilities of all the upcoming Planeswalkers? All right, hold on. Let me get my spreadsheet real quick.
Where do we begin?
Let me get my spreadsheet real quick and post it. Moment of Craving? Yeah.
So now we just get him for 3. Now our opponent is in prime Banefire range.
How do we figure out the numbers of creature types in a set? I will say our resident creature type expert is Donald. He's pretty good with figuring out all the look at this! Boom!
Does our opponent have a cast down?
Haste! Nope. All right. We have lots of live draws. This is the nice thing about having a deck with a bunch of Riot creatures. Do we have Lightning Strike in the deck?
No.
Spellbreaker.
There's Shock and Lava Coil in the deck.
Oh, okay. Spellbreaker.
But yeah, Spellbreaker, another Hellkite, the Banefire.
Oh, they're just doing it for...
they're just like, I need to draw something.
Did they keep? I think they kept. Yeah.
I think they did, but it was really fast.
Okay, I kind of want to spell here so it's lethal. Alright, fine. Whatever.
Get out of here, land.
Alright.
But now our Banefire...
It's okay.
It can't be countered.
Yep.
It can still be
This is exactly how these games play
them.
out, by the way. Right? How is our opponent going to stabilize here? You know what I mean? Why is the Cry of the Carnarium still there?
You know, that's a great question.
To the face! Face is the place!
The face is the place.
Face is the
You're
place.
right.
Let's go. Okay.
Okay.
Branch Walker.
Okay.
Let's go. Banefire. Upstairs.
We still want that.
Keep. Okay. Ooh, alright. So we got 2 lethal attackers
Risky
here.
man.
If our opponent Teferi minuses, they still need an answer to the Spellbreaker. So probably going to have to plus here if they don't have an answer. That's a good sign for us.
Vraska's Contempt does it.
1 card in hand.
Alright.
We got this.
This card is Vraska's Contempt.
It's so awkward because if they have Absorb. Sorry, I don't. No, we should play it though. We should play it. No, we should play it. Wait, how many? Did our opponent Contempt already? They have Moment of Craving and Cast Down. They have way too many more cards.
Our opponent
That's just a
has
removal
1
spell.
Contempt.
They have way too many more cards that are removal
This card's
spell.
Absorb, right?
No, it could be a removal spell. They have more removal spells than absorbs.
Also, this deck plays a lot of like double black, double white, and they only have 2 blue in play. Maybe they're just like skewed towards black and white and not towards blue, and they just don't have absorb. That's a possibility.
They usually play absorb. But they play. Don't do it. Yes.
How did this happen?
Yes.
Settled?
Whatever. We can't get settled. We have Spellbreaker in play.
Oh my god, you're right. We can't get settled.
It was contempt. I told you. No, I didn't tell her. I just said very likely to be a removal spell, not specifically that one.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. And now we still have 3 Banefires in the deck.
CTM. Oh, so they minused. Search. Okay. Lots of cards. That's not one of them, but it's okay.
Now we get closer to the absorb. I mean, not the absorb.
Ooh, we keep that one. All right. All right.
We're closer.
Too lethal.
Closer
Too
to
lethal.
the Banefire.
Ooh, this is exciting. This is exciting. We got 2 haste creatures back to back here.
This game is really exciting. Like,
Yeah.
it's probably
We
less
got
exciting
3
for our
Banefires.
opponent. Because, like, our opponent is like, all right,
Trips.
I have Teferi and I have Search for Azcanta. Only a matter of time before
Right.
I win. And we're like, oh man, all we gotta do is draw 1 Banefire.
Right. Just one.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
They drew the top card. Okay.
We have 3 Banefires in this deck. Opponent, what do you do?
Practicing shoutcasting. Yep. That's just my style, you know. Every caster duo kind of has their style, right? So like, I would say that me and Riley we're definitely the hype duo, you know.
So you guys should not be
others.
paired together then, right?
No.
Like, you should be paired with people,
Well,
like, more passive.
I think we might be a good 9 a.m. just to wake people up because it's early, right? So for round 1, get it going, and then once you want to settle down and get really good storytelling, story building, Marshall, he's very good at closing out those things, closing out the effects. And if you want like extra good analysis, Simon is very good for that, like really next level stuff.
Absorb.
No!
Oh no.
But wait. Oh, and they kept the top card? Uh-oh.
Oh,
It's slipping away, Melissa.
The Banefire is still live. 2 turns from now. We can no longer cast the Hellkite.
Yeah, I mean, we should just attack.
Well, yeah, like
obviously.
maybe we can still.
Maybe they
sneak
just
this
don't have a
through.
removal spell. They probably do though.
Well, it has to be their only card.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. And if it's Contempt, we can. Oh, we still can't play the guy.
Well, who's LSC? Luis Scott. Who's it? I'm trying to think of a play-by-play who is. Oh, well
It's mission briefing.
that can't be possible because Luis and I are both.
Oh, that's
experts.
mission briefing on the moment, and then they have absorb mana.
No, they don't.
No, they don't have absorb. Oh, nice. They don't have absorb
so they're
mana.
gonna Nebraska's in Contempt.
Yep.
And then we're just gonna run out the Hellkite.
Yep.
They're probably on minus to Fairy, but whatever.
Yep. Counter. Why?
So if we just ran out the Hellkite, they just absorb, right? So it doesn't-
Why do we know about this?
They minus to Fairy.
Oh, do they minus a fairy?
Yeah.
I totally missed it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
All right. Oh no, they're gonna be at 7 now.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough.
Now I don't think we can win. I think it's over now.
It's gonna be rough. We can still find the Banefire into 2 lands angle.
Yep, we just do nothing. We only have a couple turns to do it though, because Teferi's gonna ultimate eventually.
Yeah, now we just wait. But the thing is, our opponent can still cast Absorb on Banefire to gain 3 life, right?
Yep.
So
that's why we have to have more lands.
we need to draw. Yeah. So this is not very fun, but apparently, I mean, this is part of the primary win condition for this deck. Is just Banefiring your opponent out.
Oh, and Karn too. So we just like have.
We need to go land,
Banefire.
Yeah. So we are like probably like 1% to win this, but wow, Gilgate.
Sometimes you just need perfect mana.
Wasn't lethal miss with the Hellkite? No. Our opponent was at 3 life, and we knew that they had an absorb in hand. So if we play out the Skargan Hellkite, our opponent simply would just absorb our Hellkite, then take the 3.
Lava Coil. That was not what we needed to draw. All right, I don't think we can win anymore, so I'm going to just concede.
So except honestly, I didn't think our opponent was that far behind because they were basically, they had Teferi in play with a flip search, so they can just find all the answers that they need. We had a pretty small window to actually be able to get them.
At that point, yes, but like before that, there was a point where they had to top deck. They had to have 2 great top decks in a row, and they had it.
For sure.
And then that's when they got ahead.
Yep. Does this deck play Growth Chamber Guardian? I don't think it does. No, it plays the package.
It plays the Explorers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm really surprised about, actually, in our current metagame? Maybe it's because of the Chain Whirlers, but just a lack of Llanowar Elf decks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, only the Sultai midrange deck really plays it.
Some rule decks play Llanowar Elves, but I cannot keep this.
So, Dark Colds, again, we didn't haste the Hellkite because we knew our opponent had Absorb in hand, right? So we didn't cast it, so we attacked. We had a lethal attack. So then our opponent cast Mission Briefing to kill our creature. Now our opponent didn't have mana to cast Absorb. So as a result, we thought it would be good to play the Skargan Hellkite on our second main phase. The reason why we didn't play it beforehand was to play around Absorb. But now that we had the window to do so because our opponent tapped out for Mission Briefing, that's why Skargan Hellkite had a +1/+1 counter on it. How did they just beat 3 mana 4/4?
With 2 lands, it's pretty tough.
Ooh, I thought they were going to go Lightning Strike Firebrand.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Look at that.
Should they have done that?
Brick wall.
I think they should have done that, right?
Yeah. Possibly. So do we...
I think I want to attack with this. Play a... They miss a land drop.
Okay.
We could play Branch Walker, Lava Coil, and then try and find a land.
I think we should play Branch Walker just because we need a land for the Hellkite. Our opponent can Firebrand our Branch Walker here. We trigger on the stack. They probably should.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. We bend that one.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah. All right, we're looking good.
I still think I want a Lava Coil. No, you know what? Maybe I don't want a Lava Coil.
I think you want a Lava Coil Chain Whirler if they have it.
Yeah, because like now that they didn't kill this and I have 2 potential blockers, now I don't feel like
they're probably going to go Chain Whirler. Oh, really?
So they have Chain Whirler. Confirmed Chain Whirler. I'm still blocking both.
Okay. Because if they had Chain Whirler, they could just do it anyways. Like, attacking with the Firebrand doesn't even do anything.
Yep.
So we kill that.
Yeah, now this is an easy Lava Coil this because it's literally the only thing we can do.
Yep.
Okay.
Scoop them up!
Okay, great.
All right, so we're coming on 17 minutes. So I just want to give updates. This is our weekly R&D Plays Magic stream. And we will be doing this again next week. I think it'll be us two again. I will not be here the week after, as I will be returning from the Invitational. So it will be Melissa plus somebody, focusing on some more magics. But again, this stream is for all of you. So if you have questions with regards to, I want to say primarily design questions, balance, design-related questions, because those are the
format questions.
Format questions. Those are the things that we primarily focus on. If you have questions with regards to Arena, you should reach out to the Arena team. And if you have questions about cards that are coming out in future sets, well, not a lot we can say about that either.
Oh, do I want you? I think I just want land, so I don't want you. I have stuff to do next turn.
Here's a question, Melissa. In the design of a card, is the effect of the card design based around the art or the other way around?
It depends on really like a lot of things. So if it's like a top-down world like Innistrad, we do a lot of just like, think of like a trope, and we design to that, and then the art will reflect that. But like art is not assigned to cards until the cards already have designs. But we do we do design for flavor a lot.
Right. And then on top of that, let's say that was the process, right? It's like, hey, we designed a card, and then we, commission art for the card. Now, afterwards, if we wanted to, let's say, change that card, now we have art for the card. So oftentimes, we can't make certain changes to the cards because we've commissioned the art around the concept that we had originally for the card. So let's say there was a creature and we were like, hey, we want to give it flying, but we commissioned it as something that is not remotely close to looking like it has flying. It's like, okay, well, let's look at something else,
Yep, it has to have wings.
Right.
Or
be levitating somehow,
yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. But then, if we absolutely feel like, no, it's super correct, it really needs to have flying, then maybe we can do something about it.
Well, we would have to, get new art for it.
Right, exactly. We would have to
find
get new
a different card.
Right, exactly.
Our draw is very weak against a blue-red.
Which is my favorite
Yeah.
Utamog. I like the 10 mana one. I think the 10 mana one. Yeah. I think 10 mana is my favorite Utamog. 11 mana one's okay, but I like 10 mana one.
Some of the funniest interactions we have is we're like, okay, we have this card. It's just a little weak. It needs a little something, maybe a keyword, maybe menace. Look at the art. Does this guy look menacing? Can we give this guy menace? Is he menacing?
I think we should go 5/5. What do you think?
I agree.
Lava Coil?
They play lava coil,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we don't need.
Yeah.
We're not beating down or anything. And if they waste 2 things on this, great.
Did you guys see Arclight having the weekend it had this past weekend? Well, we're very well aware that the Arclight Phoenix deck is one of the most powerful decks
Beacon Bolt does kill this.
in
Yep.
the modern format. So definitely the type of deck that we are monitoring and seeing what happens. But as you know, that there is currently no bans. We did not have any bans for the last announcement, right? Was that the last
Yeah.
opportunity to have bans for London?
Yes.
I don't exactly know.
I believe so.
So again, it's we're gonna be monitoring it and then seeing kind of what happens at the Mythic Championships, and then make decisions after that. Shaco, all powerful cards in Modern are on our radar. Nothing is 100% off the radar. If there are cards that are very powerful, that are ubiquitous, or what have
There are
you,
so many
we are
10-4s.
always keeping tabs on those cards. No one gets a free pass.
I guess I Banefire and then probably still die at some point.
Why is the first Reach creature that can block or kill a Tempest Djinn at 6 CMC? I mean, there's plenty of other ways to kill these flyers than just
if you're
Reach
green,
creatures.
you have a lot of options to kill flyers. You have Collision Colossus, you have Crawl
Right.
Harpooner, you
So
have Plummet.
when we make answers, they won't always come in the form that maybe people might like. But look, we have a creature in Crawl Harpooner that often is able to deal with these big flyers, and a lot of the real world is doing that right now, playing those effects to kill big flyers. And as Melissa said, Collision Colossus, also a great card. And out of the sideboard, Crushing Canopy has been seeing play. On top of that,
Alright.
and then there's of course removal spells. So I think green has plenty of options currently, so I don't think green players are necessarily complaining that there are not enough ways to block or deal with big flyers.
So I could play this for 5 and have it not be countered, or I can play it for 4 and play a Spellbreaker. Our opponent could also have Dive Down, in which case we just lose.
Yeah, I mean, what you gonna do?
Alright, we're gonna go for play it for 4.
Ooh.
Oh, great.
I think we just haste this, right? Because they have a beacon thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why does Boros aggro suck? Well, I mean, what it seems like with what's happened currently in the metagame is that, like, the most powerful things to be doing if you're aggressive is playing the CCC payoff cards from Dominaria, and I think a lot of people have looked to that to kind of build their aggressive decks around. So, you know, it's like, sure, you can play Boros, but you know, if you did that, you'd be giving up on either Chain Whirler or the Knowledge Marshal, which is a pretty big sacrifice. So I think a lot of people have just opted to go with the monocolored route. But at the same time, you are seeing some of these monocolored decks splashing cards like Aurelia, for example, or even before Heroic Reinforcements. So you see a little bit of a splash. But yeah, we haven't seen as much of the straight 2-color aggressive Boros decks.
Somehow we're still playing a game here.
But if you noticed, I mean, we did want the Boros deck to be a thing. I mean, if you look at some of the Boros creatures from GRN, some of them are quite strong, right? Look at Aurelia. Like Aurelia, you look at it and you're like, okay, I want to build a Boros deck around her. That's part of the reason why she's so strong. On top of that, even look at a card like Boros Challenger, right? That is a really, really solid rate creature that you have if you wanted to play Boros. You have a 2-mana 2/3 with Mentor and pumps itself. So there are options out there if people wanted to play Boros.
I would also argue that Boros is strong. We've seen successful Angels decks. They're a little slower. Also, Pro Tour Guilds of Ravnica, there were several Boros decks in the top 8, and Aurelia was even included there.
Right. It's just now we're in a world where
Dive Down?
After many months of iteration,
not playing Dive Down.
People are going to discover what, you know, the true most powerful guilds are. And I think part of the reason why people have now shied away from Boros is the Boros cards just piles on top of what the aggressive white decks are already good at, right? Which is to put a bunch of creatures on the battlefield. What are the aggressive white creatures bad at? Dealing with sweepers. So now the mono white aggressive decks are splashing blue instead of red so that they could have access to cards like Negate, Spell Pierce, and Disdainful Stroke.
Alright, so we're just going to kill all of our opponent's stuff.
How much resistance did Kaya's Wrath get within the team? Well, I will say, when I was looking through the file and saw that, I was like, woo, this one's interesting. I mean, obviously, right? We haven't had a 4-mana sweeper in a while, so I was like, okay, let's test it to make sure it's all right. And then, you know, after lots and lots of iteration, you know, we settled on this one, and we decided that because of the fact that it's so difficult to cast, that, you know, this is about right in terms of power level balance. And I think we ended up at a pretty good spot, because Kaya's Wrath, you do have to build your mana base around it to actually make it work. And sometimes you still won't even be able to play it on turn 4. We saw our Esper opponent earlier not being able to cast it on turn 4 because they had double Glacial Fortress, Hallowed Fountain. But we want to make exciting cards. So, you know, if there's a card that looks right off the bat like it's too powerful, we're not just going to be like, hey, you can't print this card. We're going to test it just to make sure, and then see if there are knobs on the card to make it so that we can still make the card.
Yeah, we just want to make awesome cards. So,
right.
Like, we were pretty excited about a 4-mana Wrath in Standard.
Right. Like I said, one card that we were super off about that ended up just being totally fine.
What do I do here?
I think we mulligan this. There's no pressure.
Yeah.
Was Drill Bit. I know when we all saw that in card. I think we were all having traumatic. We were all experiencing trauma from dying to Thoughtseize Pack Rat, so we thought this was going to be something similar in that vein. So we were like, why even bother making this card? And then we tested it, and we're like, oh wait, it's a lot harder to actually spectacle out a Thoughtseize effect than it is to just cast Thoughtseize. Yep, makes sense.
I needed that.
It's okay, we just play 4/4 and they're dead. That's what happened last time.
That is what happened last time, but I feel way worse being at 14.
That's fair.
We're not at 14.
Oh, not at 14.
We did it. Yeah, counter. Great.
Last 4-mana Wrath in Standard, Melissa was playing it in the top 8. Was that true?
If it was Supreme Verdict, then yes.
Oh, okay.
I think it was.
What'd you play? It's like a Bant Creatures deck?
Bant Control with
okay.
that Bant Control with Kessig Wolf Run.
Okay, nice.
And like Farseek to get all the lands and
wow,
stuff.
that sounds wild.
Oh, it was wild.
Bant Control with Kessig Wolf Run.
Yeah, because the problem, so the Bant deck was like really good against creatures, like so it had Thragtusk, Restoration Angel.
Mm-hmm.
I was also playing Augur of Bolus and the Centaur 3/3 that gained life.
Oh, okay.
But the problem was it had a really hard time winning. I'm just gonna play another Spellbreaker. I don't want to take any damage.
Makes sense.
And then Kessig Wolf Run was the tech to like actually get your creatures through.
Okay, that was your
and it had
win
Farseek
condition.
Yep.
Yeah, Farseek was one of the better ramp effects that we've made.
And then obviously Force Sphinx Revelation.
Okay.
Because, you know, it was ban control.
Right.
It had a couple counters, Detention Sphere.
One simply does, yeah.
It was more like ban mid-range,
Look,
I guess.
if Sphinx's Revelation is legal, it's probably not a horrible idea to just put that in your deck. So. All right, are we just 2-for-1 them again?
I'm kind of tempted, but I also kind of want... So they clearly have a Lightning Strike.
I think it's a good thing if their opponent just keeps doing this, though.
Yeah,
right?
so I would rather lose this than lose Phoenix to
exactly.
Lightning Strike plus Firebrand.
Exactly. Like, they might even just have to cast Skewer here, which... Okay, no, they're going to play Wizard's Lightning. Oh, or a Skewer.
Sure.
Now we play Phoenix.
Well, yeah, because we didn't take damage, so they had to do that.
Right.
Yeah, now we can just play Phoenix, and if they 2-for-1 us again, like, they can just 2-for-1 us for the rest of the game, and we'll probably just come out ahead eventually.
Here, I will... Somebody asked this to me, but I'll ask it to you. What are your thoughts on lands like Wolfrun again? Do you think effects like that is deemed too unfun, or could you see us making cards like that?
So I actually think they're pretty fun, but the problem with lands is there's usually very little cost to include them in your deck. So it has to be like the right cost. Like, so for Kessig Wolfrun, you're playing a colorless land in your red-green deck, so like it's pretty hard to play. Like, your mana is going to be messed up sometimes. Specifically in that format where we had Farseek, it was like very low cost to play, so those lands were like more powerful than they were in other formats. But overall, I think like spell land, like if you call them spell lands, they're pretty fun. Like, I think the Dominaria ones are pretty cool. They could even be maybe slightly stronger. Like, only a couple of them saw play. Sure. Yeah, so for the Dominaria lands, like the blue one saw a little bit of play and the black one sees a decent amount of play. The other ones are like really fringy.
So 4/4.
But yeah, I guess like
hopefully
that answers your question. Yeah, overall I think they're pretty fun.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm just gonna attack.
Y'all's goes
Spellbreaker.
R&D. Can you make the game better, please? I think we've been doing a pretty good job.
We have been.
Yeah, I'm happy with.
But sure.
Yeah, but you know what?
You can make it better.
We are always looking to make the game better. We're certainly not looking to make it worse. So yes, we will continue to try to do our best.
So here's an example of a land that was like more on the unhealthy side, and those are the Kamigawa lands, the legendary lands that had spell-like effects, like tap them to do something. And the reason why is because those had a very low cost to put them in your deck, because they just acted like basic lands. Yeah, I guess I'm shocking this Steamkin eventually.
How often are you flirting with breaking the color pie? Well, we have a group of people that specialize in this, and you know, if things are a little too off the rails, then they will definitely push back and let us know. And even with the color pie itself, we are, you know, we do often explore like,
I'm in trouble now.
You know, what we can do to kind of stretch the boundaries a little bit.
I don't think I can attack with this Phoenix anymore. I think I'm just on defense here. I can't keep a treasure map.
Wait, hold on.
That's too slow. Like,
we're so close to killing them, though.
We can kill them in 3 turns probably, but like if I take another 3,
You're not taking another 3 though.
Well,
you can block a 3, right?
I can block a 3 and then take a 3.
Right. I think we need, like, they have so many burn spells. Like, what are we waiting for? I think we have to attack with the Phoenix and keep the Spellbreaker back.
Yeah. All right, we'll do that.
Also, we have 2 minutes left. Or 1 minute left.
Oh, we gotta get a move on here.
Pedal to the metal here.
Yeah, we gotta get this this game moving. All right.
We could have also maybe attacked with the Spellbreaker.
We just played him. We
just played J-Light Ranger.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
This game's so hard. There's a lot going on. I'm sorry, everyone. All right, so our opponent had nothing.
Paul, does your team have any involvement in the ban list for any format? We have. Yes, we do. We are. We have very big say in terms of what we feel should be banned, because we are part of the balance team. You know, many of the players on our team have played competitively. We've played on the Pro Tour, so I think our input is valued very heavily when deciding whether or not to ban things. All right, we win. Yay!
We did it.
Yay! We did it.
So
Slow Gruul.
once again, Gruul was our top performing deck
Gruul rules
of the day. Because the last time we played Gruul, we played like a faster Gruul, and the decks we played before were like pretty terrible.
Right.
Also, I did not even kill 25 of my opponent's creatures.
Might need to do that at home.
Yeah.
It's with,
I will open these 2 packs though.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Mythic.
Come on, Domri. Okay, that card's cool.
We got some questions with that card, and then one more. Who are you rating this time?
Yellow Hat.
Oh.
All right.
Gabriel Mystic.
Gabriel Nassif. Okay. It looks like we're going to be rating Invitational competitor and Hall of Famer Gabriel Nassif, probably playing some best of one. So we will get to that. So I want to thank all of you for watching. Again, we'll be back at it next week. We're going to be streaming some more standard stuff. But until then, some Yellow Hat.
Yeah. See ya.